Jump right into the therapy one. I know I ended that Monday's one like this was coming right after it. I forget it's 2 days in between. But let's jump right into the therapy one off of Mondays, where we started to talk about how the very beginning stages of why they won't change. I was trying to get you into their brain, okay? If they don't think there's anything wrong with them and they've agreed to go to therapy with you, I want you to understand something. When they're going to therapy, it is not with the same fervor and vigor that you are. They will say that it is. I just want you to understand what their mind is thinking. As they walk into therapy, and I've done my research, I've asked people with the disorder, I've asked therapists, I've heard it, seen it, like this is what's going on. They're walking into the therapist's office and you're hopeful. This is our last shot. I'm hopeful. You know what the narcissist, this kind of person is thinking? Okay, what can I say? I'm going to get all my stuff lined up. I got to make sure that I win. I mean, they can't think it's my fault. They can't think anything is my fault. Okay, so if she says that, I'm going to say this. Okay, she's starting to talk about that. Okay, and then they pump up and they come out with whatever untruth they're going to say. And it's probably going to be a lie to the therapist. But they're really convincing. And the therapist might even lean towards believing what they said. Now you're getting irate and angry, and the narcissist goes, see, she's crazy. Because he just lied. It's a game. That's a game to them. They're out to win therapy. That's how healthy they're looking at therapy. I'm going to win this. I'll win therapy. Not that they think in those terms, but I'll slay this. I got this. I got this. It's not the cooperative, collaborative effort of healing together or themselves in this therapy session. They're doing it to check off the box and show you, see how serious I am about fixing us? There's no self-reflection. Let me to go to therapy for years and years and try to figure out what's wrong with me and why do I keep mistreating people. And even if they do that, they'll lie to that therapist sitting there alone to the therapist. Anyone can go to therapy and get not healed. You can lie to your therapist. How's a therapist going to help you if you're lying to them? They can't challenge you with every single thing you say. They don't bring groups around you. What do you think a narcissist is telling a therapist, even if they do go? You think they're telling them the truth about their behavior? Pardon me. Do you know what I'm saying? They look at it like they want to win the therapy. And I'm not trying to suck the hope. I feel so bad. I'm thinking of the woman the other day. And she said, but they still can change, can't they? And when I said to her, yes, healthy people can change, sure. I was just trying to make room for the fact that maybe her person isn't somebody with this narcissistic toxic disorder. And maybe they are a healthy person who could and would change. I don't know her partner. But she watches and she views, and so obviously she has some things that she identifies with on this channel. But it's not up to me to make that assessment. But I did tell her, but no, if they do indeed have this, they are never going to change. These people are locked into thinking they're right. They're locked into thinking they're entitled to behave any way they wanted. So they've gotten away with doing that. It could be that they've never had consequences for their behavior, not commensurate to what they did. Not enough to make them learn what they did. And it happened at a very young age. Nobody knew anything years ago or even 20 years ago. A lot of things have become more mainstream now. And I believe parents do the best they can. I'm not saying that anyone, and sometimes it can be abuse from the parents, but something happened and locked them in at a very young age. It would take an awful lot. You'd first have to be aware of yourself having the disorder. There are a few online, I'm sure you guys have listened to them, and they tell you right out they're a narcissist. There's two I have in my mind right now. Dr. Sam Vatkin and Mental Healness. I don't know that guy's name. I did know it, but now I can't think of it. It's escaping me. But they come right, so they're aware. So now I'm trying to think, in a relationship with them, it's going to go a little differently. Because say, for example, I met somebody who knew they were a narcissist. Then I would say to them at the first sign of anything, I'd go, now, why do you think you just did that? You know that's part of triangulation. Why would you execute that move if you know that you're doing it? I need to know. So maybe they learn to behave because they can control actions. I don't know. But I'm telling you, when they go to therapy with you, they want to win it. I just don't want you so hopeful if it is indeed somebody who has this disorder. They don't want to change. They're perfectly fine with the way that they are. All the fault is yours, like I said, or this person's, or that person's, or this occasion, or that weather, or this hurricane. We're in hurricane season, God forbid. But you know what I mean? Like, whatever. There's always an excuse. It's not, I didn't handle that right. I dropped the ball on that one. I could have worked harder on that. I should have started 6 months earlier. You know what? I'll do better next time, but I learned a lot on that. No. They didn't drop any ball. They didn't know. The ball was deflated. They'd be that person. My ball was deflated. Do you follow me? I just don't want you heading into therapy being really excited and not understanding that they're going to try to manipulate therapy. This isn't being negative and whoa, that everything that they ever do is bad. I've seen it done, and it is done, and that's what they're planning already. Or that you'll cancel it, or that they don't have to go, or that something happens that they don't have to go. But if they go, they're going to win. They're not going to leave that office with that therapist thinking that they're the villain. They will not. They'll say and do anything to get you in a bad mood. They'll show up late to the appointment, so you're stressed out already. Why do you think they did that? Because now you're acting like this, and the therapist, that's your first impression. You don't think that was on purpose. They're trying to win therapy. I swear to God, it's like a sport. And every move they make is to anger you. Maybe you get into a fight before you leave. Maybe they want you shakwad, so they tell you something really bad before you walk through the door. And they're going to lie to the therapist, and you're going to get mad. And it's just, I want you aware of it. I really do. And this wasn't even a video. Like, I had to bump all the other ones up because as I was outlining the last video, I started to think about therapy, and there's a lot to say about that. So I want you to keep that in mind. If you have it and you're going and you're hopeful, I'm not trying to douse your hopes. I just want to keep them realistic for you and manage your expectations. And be aware if he tries to aggravate you, why. And if he lies, I want you to know why. They want to win therapy. Is that hilarious? I know it is. I think it's hilarious too. I'm not competitive at all, let alone at therapy. I want to win therapy. Oh. That's an empty person. But they will, so keep your eye open and please understand what they're doing as it's happening.